The rating agency Moody's says the U.S. credit crunch does not threaten the global banking system and that it's not their fault anyway. Well, thanks for the words of comfort, Moody's, but excuse investors if they're still angry. Critics claimed that the agencies were careless, greedy, and biased, and far too late to warn the markets. But investors, well, they've been here before. Just months before the energy trader Enron went belly up in 2001, ratings agencies had given it high marks on stability. Some say that the problem is structural, that the ratings agencies are paid by the companies they rate, not by the investors who rely on those assessments. Is it time to reform the raters?
We were just asking, is it time to reform the raters?
Well, I mean, I heard a number of things that were interesting. I don't think this is a balanced judgment, though. What you have to do, and part of the reason is that we have much less powers than you seem to believe. In fact, what we do, and this is very important to say that, what we do is that we try to assess the creditworthiness. If you have a house, we say basically what is the risk that your house is going to crumble, to collapse, etc. We don't propose to sell the house. We're not recommending any kind of, we're not real estate agents. And what we say doesn't have an impact necessarily on the price of the house. Say often, the Chateau de Versailles is a very solid house, probably AAA, but the French government might have some difficulties to sell it. So there is no liquidity on the. So this is what we do. We assess the creditworthiness. Now, are we irreproachable? I mean, we don't have the monopoly of wisdom. I mean, you say...
But you have a monopoly.
No, we don't have any monopoly.
You have a monopoly, no. Yes. The three, you, Standard Poor's, and Fitch, you guys, the three are going lockstep. You have a monopoly. You determine these markets. And in fact, these investors were lying to you. The biggest problem out there, the biggest problem is now you've lost your credibility out there. When investors say, do we invest in American real estate? Do we invest in different products? They're going to look at your rating and they're going to look at it with suspect.
But look at the ratings, how different the ratings are. I mean, this is also a problem. If you give for a premium, you can have, you can give a 1 or to 22, for example, percent.
Yeah, well, I think in going back to your initial question, is it time to re-rate the ratings agencies? I think the ratings agencies have conceded there are some things that could be done better. Certainly Congress is looking at that. The one problem with that is we were supposed to have done this post-Enron on the debt that came up for problems there. And there was a lot of hullabaloo out of Congress, just as we're seeing now with subprime. I think Bruce thinks Congress is going to do more this time around. I doubt it. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of changes in the way the rating agencies do it. I think what would help is to break the monopoly, to see a DBRS come in and give the big three more competition, perhaps be more open about the way things are rated. But I think to hold the ratings agency solely responsible for this is a bit ridiculous.
No, but can I ask, there is a crisis of confidence. Because to say that these rating agencies were objective, they created these these debt obligations. They created it. They rated it. They knew what was going on. Just the fact that the insiders at Moody's cashed out $27 million net. So to look at that fact, these rating agencies were... Let me just finish, please. These rating agencies are part of the problem because they prevented, in the states, you had different states that knew this problem was going on, and they wanted to regulate it. They wanted to say that we want to make mortgages that are affordable over the long term. The rating agencies almost single-handedly prevented that from happening. Because why? Because they were making 40% of their profits by these debt obligations.
I don't have a problem, Bruce, blaming the ratings agency and the investment banks or the investors that wanted the higher yield. But I do think you have to look at some of the borrowers that knew they were overextended in taking out the adjustable rate mortgages and to just not place any responsibility on the borrowers in taking out ARMs to 28.
That is an outrageous statement.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can just say poor people that didn't understand
No, because what they were doing, that is outrageous. Because what you're saying out there is that these rating agencies, these lenders, these investment bankers, they made money. The more they...
There's no question of that.
And the fact of the matter is, look what the overall picture is. You have these investment bankers and these lenders saying to the world, we have the safest investment in the world, the most valuable product in the world, even sometimes more than oil, is American real estate. They went out to the world and they said, we are going to sell this. You cannot lose with American real estate. And they said, not only do you have American real estate, but what you have is you have a higher rate of return because, remember, interest rates were low, right? So
sure.
You get much higher rate of return. So what happened? The world investors said, this is a great investment, and there's more demand. So what happened then? They said, okay, we started out in 2000, 2001 with some mortgages that were not outrageous. They were high rate. Then there's such a demand, they said, let us get us more. So what did they do? Then they said, well, we need more product. So the products were these strangulation arms, strangulation adjustable mortgage loans, which said that they start out affordable and they go higher.
Nobody forced the borrowers to take out those
Then they said, yes, when you have the largest... But my friend, you said the largest lender in the country... The largest lender in the country, countrywide, right? The largest lender, right? And Wells Fargo, the biggest lenders, the most quote-unquote reputable lenders in the country, said to borrowers, yes, we'll lend you more than you want. We'll lend you more than you want because they're making huge amounts of fees.
Let's take the rating agencies in our discussion. I mean, you're discussing about them. But we do that right after this.